Hey, seeing as I just talked about an Isekai the other day, I feel like I should do an Isekai Reincarnation tier list. What does that mean? I'm gonna take the different things that, you know, I've seen different characters get reincarnated as and rank them. What does that entail? I don't know. I made this idea up as far as I know. I haven't seen someone else do it. Maybe they have, but even if they have, I'm doing my own rules. I don't know. I'll place them where I want to. Um, if you haven't seen the other, one tier list that I've done on this channel, I'll just give you a heads up. I'm gonna pick random images for all of these. They most of them you could probably guess what I'm talking about, but some of them you might not be able to. Therefore, if you just skip to the end of the video, good luck decrypting it. Also, these are all my opinions, so I don't really care what you say. These are my opinions. You can give your opinion in the comments below, but these are mine, and I don't give a shit. Okay, moving on. Let's go and talk about the first one. I don't even know what I put in here. I did it a while ago. Oh. Okay. Well, first on the docket, elves. You know, elves are elves are solid. They're not too different from humans, though, which I think is a little bit of a demerit. I feel like if you're going to go to a fantasy world, you want to be, something fantastic, So it's hard for me to put them, S or anything, but they do live a long time. They're typically very powerful. That's pretty neat. And you could get worse. Being more, akin to a human is, better than nothing. So, I'm gonna give... See, and they're also very similar in most contexts, so I'm gonna give it an A. You know what you're getting with an elf, right? In most isekais, like, an elf is what it is. Sometimes they're different, but for the most part they're the same. So I think A is fair. I think it's, alright. What's next? Oh! This would be beastmen, or like monsters, like just, creatures. It's kind of like a general category, like not human, but whatever. Not in one of the other categories I'm about to list. Depending on see, this category has a lot of variety. There's a lot going on here. But I'm gonna go with a cool C. You could get lucky, right? And you're some sort of behemoth or something. Also, something to point out: if you want to find a series that I'm talking about, you could probably just type in "reincarnated as blank series" and you'll find it. If you really, really want to know which series specifically I'm talking about, you can ask in the comments, and I'll try to get back to you. But otherwise, you could probably just type in whatever the creature is and you'll find it. This one, I will say, is the exception. It's just in general. I know there's a story about being reincarnated as a behemoth, for example. That would fall into this category. Overall, yeah, it's alright, I think you could get lucky, you might not get lucky, it depends, right? So I think C is fair. If you get lucky, it could be really good. If you get unlucky, it could be shit. Yeah, so I feel like C is a fair place. What's next? Oh, reincarnated as a virus. Yes, that's a thing. In the series, really OP. So, but I think I would feel bad, taking over someone as like a host of some sort. So I feel like I can't put that in S because my conscience wouldn't allow it, but you would be really overpowered, probably live a long time, going through different hosts or whatever. Not the worst, and it's different, right? Like that, I always give it props if it stands out. If it's a little bit weird, I'll give it props. So I think A is fair. I think that one's fun. I like that one. What's next? Oh, a demon! If you're asking why this image for a demon, well, you don't need to know. See, now, here's the thing about being a demon, right? You could get lucky, right? you're like the demon lord, and you know the demons are on the winning side. Boom! Wow, lucky dog, right? You're top of the list now, top of the food chain, if you will. Or you could be like the fodder imp that gets shot in the head 5 seconds into the war. So to me, there's a lot of variance here, just like the beast one. But I feel like on average, you'll probably be a little better off. So I'm gonna go with B. You know, I don't necessarily want to be hunted to death just for existing, so I can't really put that in A. But I think a B is fair, you know, if you get lucky. What's next? Oh, okay, so these are like the anthropomorphic ones. You might ask, why didn't I put Barney here? Well, I think of Barney as a monster, and these people are just strange, so I feel like I could put them, you know, in this position. So these would be like, you know, I don't know, your typical like cat girl or whatever in some anime. Or, you know, some dog person or something humanoid, but with animalistic qualities. You know, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go B. I think you're probably a little better off than, you know, randomizing it with a demon, because, you know, you're probably not going to get murdered right off the bat. But there have been examples in different series where that does happen, so I wouldn't necessarily trust it too much. And I don't think I could put an A, frankly. It's just not, you know, that strange. You're not guaranteed to live a long time. Like the bonuses, I feel like they don't get me there, right? They don't give me enough to work with to put it in A. I don't know. They're also kind of generic. I don't know. They're kind of lame to me. Hey, I want to be something weird if I'm going to be in a fantasy world, or at least have, you know, extremely OP qualities. Okay, reincarnated as a hot spring. Well, I don't want, you know, people getting naked and taking a bath in me, so I'm gonna put that in F. That would suck. As far as, you know, the powers in that series go, yeah, still wouldn't really want it. It kind of sucks. You're stationary. You rely on other people to help you all the time. That just kind of seems annoying, frankly. You could get really unlucky, right? If you don't have, like, you know, plot armor. So yeah, F. That sucks. I don't want to do that. Oh, being a goblin. Well, depending on the world, you might instantly die. They don't typically live that long. That also kind of sucks. You know, they look weird, but not weird enough to, like, stand out to me. So I don't know if I give them credit for being different. They just look like smaller humans. So I'm gonna go with D. Also, you know, you're probably going to be hunted again forever, no matter what you do in that case. So that kind of sucks balls. I don't want to do that. What's next? A vending machine. F. If anyone doesn't say F, then you have a problem, or a very weird fetish. Yeah, no, that sucks, frankly. You can't move on your own. You're just very reliant on having someone else around that's willing to help you, which is unfortunate. So without the whole plot armor thing, you're kind of effed. Yeah, that doesn't sound great to me. Don't know about you, but I don't typically want to be a vending machine. Also, it's, you know, it's weird dispensing stuff other than excrement and then giving it to people. That's a weird thing to think about. I didn't think about that until now, and that makes me think it's even weirder. If only there was a category lower. What's next? Reincarnated as a sword. You know, I talked about this already. It kind of sucks being reliant on having someone else to help you. But every man's dream, you know, is to have a sword. So being a sword yourself isn't the worst, like, deal. It could get worse. You could be a hot spring or a vending machine. So I think I'm willing to give that a D. At least you're cool. You know, you turned into something cool, right? and something that people might want as well, so you have a higher likelihood of getting someone to help you. I guess the hot spring works for that, but you can't really move, which kind of sucks. I know they put them in a jar or whatever to see people, but that, that's not great. Let's see, what's next? Oh, being a vampire. Now, I also have undead on this list, just so you know, but I feel like there are so many ones that have vampires that I kind of have to give it a little bit of its own category. You know, I'm gonna give this the elf treatment. I really like vampires. You have a really long life, you look normal enough where you could probably talk to people. It's, at least somewhat different than being a human. I think in A tier, it might be a little bit lower than an elf, because you do, typically have a lot of weaknesses that are easy to exploit, which might suck in a world that's trying to kill you. But I think because of the longevity, the abilities, I think vampires are just cool. I'm willing to put that in A. What's next? Oh, I just talked about this. Undead. Well, yeah. See, now this is like everything else basically that's undead, like a skeleton or a zombie. I think typically it's not the best because you're probably going to get instantly killed if you go anywhere. So I'm gonna go with C. At least you live a long time and you have the potential to hide yourself and maybe live somewhere relatively peacefully. And you have your own authority, unlike some of these lower tier ones. And I'll give it a little more credit than a goblin. At least you look, I don't know, very different. A goblin, I feel like you could just paint somebody and have them crouch on their knees or something, and you'd probably have a goblin. This is at least a little different. Let's see. A dragon. I mean, you're like the apex predator, right? I've never seen a story where a dragon doesn't live a long time. I mean, literally every time you see someone get reincarnated as a dragon, they're like extremely OP. You can fly, you normally, if there's magic, you'd probably have a lot of it. You live a long time. I mean, and you're very different, which I give credit to. Always want to be something weird, if you ask me. If you're going to be reincarnated, you don't want to just be a guy. So I feel like I have to give us some credit there. Almost every series I've seen, I mean, there's reincarnated as, you see reincarnations in dragons pretty frequently because it is a really cool reincarnation. I have to give it credit. Let's see, what's next? An apple! I mean, you're extremely reliant on others, which is annoying. You're probably going to feel yourself rotting from the inside. If you do look up the series that this happens in, he gets lucky with a lot of other things, so being an apple without those other elements would probably mean just dying. Yeah, not great. I don't think anyone would want that. So F. What's next? Oh, okay, well this is reincarnating as a spider. I did separate this from the other beast category. Why did I separate this? Because within that series, which is the only one I know of, where you get reincarnated as a spider, it's pretty cool. That series, I have to. A lot of what I'm judging here isn't always what you're being it's what I've seen, right? What is the average of what I've seen? How many elves are neat? How many vampires are neat? I have to say, being reincarnated as a spider was pretty cool. That's a good series. I like it. Now, can I put it in A or S? Probably not. I don't think that would be fair. But, considering what I've seen in that series, it has showed me the potential. Also, you'd be horrifying to everyone else, which is, that's also a bonus, right? And if you're in a fantasy world, you're probably a giant spider. That's pretty cool. Now, I guess some people out there might, die from seeing themselves, which I guess that's unfortunate, so I can't really put that much higher, but I think B from you know, that series, I think B would be fair. I think we've seen the potential that a fantasy spider has. Alright, what's next? Reincarnated as a slime! The, you know, the one that kind of propelled the Isekai genre a little bit, I think, at one point. Frankly, I have seen a couple of series with slime protagonists. It's not bad. You know, typically the faults of slimes comes down to their, you know, them not knowing how to use their abilities. So you know, I have to say, if you were reincarnated as a slime, there's probably a lot you could do. You know, the world probably has magic right off the bat, because I know our world doesn't have like a living slime that talks to me. So, you know, I feel like I'm gonna have to give it an A. I feel like it's a little, you know, it probably beats out most of what's under it. You're really different, which is always a bonus. You don't really have to worry about weight because you're just a blob. You probably have magic, and you're probably a lot more powerful than any other slime, so you could be the king of the slimes. Sounds great. Also, if you guys want to, look up Slime Saint, and you could see how horrifying a slime could be, because it basically wears a person as a flesh mech. Which, that was disturbing. So yeah, look up Slime Saint if you want to see probably the most disturbing concept. The series itself might not be that disturbing, but the idea of, like, replacing someone's blood with slime and piloting them like a flesh mech, like you're doing like Attack on Titan or something, is awful. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, I think I'll put that in A, just because it's different. What is next? Oh, okay. Well, this, you know, I was going to go with Reincarnated as a pig here, because that is a thing, but I'll also include orc, just to make this a little more fun. I think orcs suck. I don't like orcs. So, you know, I can't rate it too high. Also, I mean, being reincarnated as a pig would just suck, so I can't really, you know, put it too high for that concept either. You know, you are probably powerful. Your lifespan probably similar to that of just a human, normal dude. I'm thinking B or C here. We'll go with B, you know, because right off the rip you could probably beat up a spider. Yeah, and you know, they always have a lot of buddies. That's nice. You know, you'd have some friends right off the rip. You'd also be, you know, you'd reach that dream of being like 7 feet tall or whatever. I know, you know, most people are probably, you know, most people watching this are probably like 4'11" or something. But you could be like 7'6" or like 8'11" or something crazy, you know? I'm not saying what's down under, but up top at least. Let's see, what's the last one? Oh! Being a human. Also, if you never really looked at it, Tom Cruise, his like tooth is like in line with his nose, and it's really off-putting. Really weird. This picture isn't the best example of it, but if you ever like look at a picture of him, like his teeth are so weird, and I can't look away now. And he also has like these dead eyes. I don't know why I'm like ragging on Tom Cruise right now, but it's just, it's so, I don't know. Whenever I look at it, I'm just like, what the hell is happening there? But yeah, being reincarnated as a human, kind of sucks, huh? I mean, if you're gonna be brought into a fantasy world, you don't want to just be a dude. Like, I wouldn't want to just be me. That's kind of lame. I don't know. That's really boring. It's like the people that, you know, just play human in fantasy games. They're just boring. You know what kind of person they are is they just click like human male. It's just like, wow, you have no imagination. You just want the world to do all the work, huh? I don't know. I just feel like it'd be very lame. But I think you at least can move on your own, so I'll give it credit over all these. Yeah, I don't know. I might even rather be a sword than be just a dude. I feel like that's like probably the lamest reincarnation you could have. And I've seen stories about people being reincarnated as like a pig and an apple and all these like random things. A crow. I feel like being a dude is like the worst outcome you could have. Like really? That's what I get? Okay, well, let's do, you know, let's so overall, best reincarnation. A dragon. I mean, come on. Right? Also, what are some key takeaways from what's at the top? Well, longevity. That's a big one. If you're going to be in a fantasy world, you probably want to live a little longer to see it all. So stuff that lives a long time, up near the top, right? See stuff like this, sometimes slimes. You want to be different. You don't want to just be a dude. That's like the lamest thing you could be. Also, don't be an apple, don't be a vending machine, and if you ever become like a sauna or an onsen or whatever the hell, don't talk to me. Yeah, I'll see it.